The salt that we're mining today is 400 million years old.
Who the pound for pound? Because if you lock John Jones and Islam Makhachev in a cage, John Jones tears on the shreds. Nah, I don't think so. Did Khabib ever go up to 170? Did Khabib ever fight at 170? Like, he talked about it before.
Yeah. I'm not going to pull for a guy that's always against us. No way. He's a stud, but he hates us, so I'm against him.
Alhamdulillah. I know you got this. They don't like this. Alhamdulillah. Tomorrow night, I'm gonna smash your boy, guys.
Dan Hooker is one of my favorite fighters to watch. He's always been in exciting fights. His fight versus Dustin Poirier is one of the best fights I've ever watched. Even when he lost, the fights were exciting, except of course when he faced Islam Makhachev and got submitted in first round. And I think that's exactly why he's salty and keeps going after Islam and discrediting him so much. Because you see, Dan doesn't mind losing as long as he loses an exciting fight. And this video goes beyond Dan and his mindset, because in my opinion, Dan represents the average hater of Islam. All of them think this exact same way, have the same double standards, and use the same tactics to discredit Islam. So by responding to Dan, we respond to a considerable contingency of the MMA fanbase. So he previously went on a crusade accusing Islam of cheating, especially after and leading up to the first Volk fight with the IV controversy. I've done a video about it with the help of Kay, who's a fan of the channel. I will put it on the end screen of this video.
Just engage because he has a bottom.
So so you think Gaethje's going to beat Dan Hooker?
I'm pulling for him. I'm not pulling for Dan Hooker. I'm not going to pull for a guy that's always against us. No way. And Justin Gaethje is a cool ass dude. And actually, I'll tell you this: Dan Hooker, as of recently, I'm enjoying his talks too and his fighting. Now he's a stud, but he hates us, so I'm against him.
Even Javier Mendez says Hooker hates them, meaning Islam's camp. Javier Mendez is one of the most respectful people in MMA, and he rarely ever says anything negative about other fighters, if ever. I can only recall one time where I heard him say he dislikes a fighter, and it was just after Conor McGregor talked about Khabib's dead father.
I knew he was going to do what he did, but in all honesty, I don't like him. And the reason why I don't like him is because he says things that he feels he's privileged to be able to say, that he's no accountability for. And the final straw that got me is when he said, "COVID good, father evil."
Yeah,
and I'm sorry, but anybody that said that, I don't care who you are, I lost complete 100% respect for him, because the whole world suffered. A bunch of my friends lost their fathers. Khabib lost his father, and that's what he was referring to.
Yeah,
and for me, I go, you're the slimest of the slime. I go, to go that low. The whole world suffered. The whole world. And you think it's funny, and you're a millionaire now, and you can do this, you can do that. But you said those words. How evil are you when you say that? To me, I'm sorry, but he's an evil person. I don't like him. I never will like him.
And recently, watching an interview by Dan Hooker on Submission Radio, I was again baffled by the sheer amount of discrediting he does whenever he is asked about Islam. And this is what got me to make this video.
What did you make of Islam taking Moicano and sort of subbing him so quickly in this one? Were you surprised at all? Did you know it was going to go down like that when you saw those guys were going to be matching up in the main event?
Oh, like, obviously, credit to Moicano. Oh, the amount of people that messaged me telling me that I should be calling Moicano a turtle in a tree now. Like, who's the turtle in this shit? But no, like, credit to him for stepping out for the plate. Like, I know me and Moicano go back and forth now and then, but I was, he's get his opportunity. It's cool to see a kid get his guy get his opportunity and step up to the plate and back himself going into there. And certainly, I don't tend to kick people when they're down. That's not what I do. I kick people when they're standing up, brother.
Moicano got a golden opportunity and a shot at the title with close to nothing to lose. I mean, of course, when he loses, he would have to go on another run to be able to get another shot. But most fighters in the division would kill for an opportunity like this. Moicano also has a built-in excuse. When he loses, they can say it was on short notice. But in Islam's case, he has everything to lose and nothing to gain. Of course, Islam being the pound-for-pound king, he made sure to make a statement getting Moicano out of there in the first round. But just imagine if the fight was more competitive. All his haters will say he struggled against a number 10 ranked lightweight, and in this case, even a close win for Islam isn't actually a win. And as we all know, when these Dagestanis win a close fight, it's a robbery. And when they lose a close fight, it's a humiliating loss and they got dominated and exposed. Credit goes to Moicano as well, but Islam deserves way more credit.
Is he the number one pound for pound fighter in the UFC right now?
I just don't think pound for pound's a thing. I don't believe in, like, we're having we're just having a fantasy, well, like we're getting lost in a fantasy conversation at that point. Pound for pound is just not a thing, in my opinion. If we can't shrink someone and make someone bigger, pound for pound is whoever's the heavyweight champ. That's who the pound for pound. Because if you lock John Jones and Islam Makhachev in a cage, John Jones tears them to shreds.
Do we get Demetrius Johnson, put him in one of those machines and put him up at super heavyweight and see how he does? Super heavyweight Demetrius Johnson.
It's such a non-discussion, because obviously the fights change with the weight classes. Obviously, Demetrius Johnson, like if he was 120 kilos, he wouldn't move the way that he moves. Like it's a completely asinine discussion, I think.
I actually agree with his sentiment here. I'm not a huge fan of this pound for pound thing either. But regardless of what me or him think, it's still a thing and it has a set definition. If such and such fighter were the same weight and size, skill-wise, who is the best and who would win if they fought? And who recently achieved a set of accolades that ranks them above other fighters regardless of their weight class. And to me, that is Islam, no doubt. John Jones to me is the GOAT for sure, but he can't be the pound for pound because in 5 years he fought only twice, and he also popped for PEDs a couple of times.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think Islam's far off from sort of taking Khabib's mantle as the best 155 champion in UFC history? How much more do you think he has to do to sort of take that?
I think it's like two heads of the same beast. I don't think it's like getting in, it's like going back and forth between the two, but it's like Islam is like is still like they're part of the same myth. Like that's the biggest thing about stepping in and fighting them, and I think like we kind of would have realized that is it's like more the myth of it more than anything. That's why they keep like their team so close knit. It's like any success, like it becomes it becomes larger than life. It's not when you step in there and you actually fight them, and then you're like, I fell for the trick, and I was fighting the myth, not the man. And if you just focus on the man, then the task becomes a lot more controllable and a lot simpler.
So here he's asked whether Islam surpassed Khabib or not, but he just goes on saying they are part of the same myth, and basically saying they win just because fighters go in there believing in the myth.
He ain't going up to 170 very easily.
Nah, you don't think so? You don't think so?
Nah, I don't think so. Did Khabib ever go up to 170? Did Khabib ever fight at 170? Like he talked about it before.
The only thing with Islam is like the guy's so big.
They're gonna talk about it for half a decade, but they're not.
So you don't think so? I think it's the weight cut that's killing him, and also I think he.
And Ronda Rousey was going to beat the men in the bantamweight division. Like, don't believe like it's drinking the Kool-Aid. That's not going to happen.
Khabib retired at 32 after 3 title defenses, and we all know why he retired. They are also 2 separate people. What does Khabib not going up have to do with Islam? Islam was demanding a shot at the second belt for a long time, and the only issue is now Bilal being champ at 170. There is no reason to question his intention of going up. This guy is just being bitter from his humiliating loss to Islam in the first round and a tad bit jealous, because deep down he knows he can never be champ, and the rematch between them, if it ever happens, will be even worse for him, because Islam got so much better since that fight. So thanks for watching guys. If you like this video, please like, subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, peace.